don't know this. The proposed budget is on the website. In the proposed budget, if you'll actually read the documentation all the way through, I try very hard to explain exactly what the court is thinking and why these decisions are being made. And when the adopted budget comes out, it's even actually has more information included in it, and that is the whole point of preparing the budget in this manner and according to the Government Finance Officers Association standards, so you, the public, can understand this document and understand that the decisions that are being contained within and the decisions that led to the funding in this document. So I encourage anyone, if you haven't read it, to read it. If you don't have, if you're not able to get it on the website, give either any commissioner, the judge, or myself a call. Be glad to get it to you in print.
Ms. Wilson, would you also address the salary plan, because there's been mention made of it tonight about the percentages, and it's my understanding that those percentages are across the board up to 79%.
That is correct. I've heard some comment about the commissioners giving themselves raises larger than that of the employees, and that's not the case. There are some employees in this plan because the plan is designed to start a basis for equalization. That's the whole point of this plan. It started last year. It's continued on this year because we had like people doing the same job making two entirely different salaries because one may have vacated it and a new person came in at the higher salary. The focus of the committee was to get away from that type of inequality and to have a standard of where you start at entry level and you cannot move until you've reached this next level. Once that position is vacated at a higher level, you start back down at the bottom. So in order to put that particular criteria in play, there are some people that have been here for a number of years that have never made more than entry level or minimally over entry level. Those people will be getting substantial raises. Some of those people are getting 30 and 40% raises. The highest raise is going to law enforcement because that was another focus of the committee about putting some other law enforcement officers on the law enforcement scale. The sheriff and the jail have a law enforcement scale that they follow, which is what the county is now doing. The sheriff was already there. The county is now doing that. But there are some people that were not on that scale, and those people mostly being deputy constables, animal control. So the largest raise in this county actually is 79%. And that's a law enforcement officer that was not on the scale that will go on the scale. So the raises can range from, there's a handful of positions that did not get a raise because they came in within the last year, most of them within the last year at that higher salary, so they will not get a reduction, but they will not get a raise for a year until they catch up or so. So they could range from nothing all the way to 79%. Many raises within this budget are 25, 35, 40% for individual people that have been doing the job for a long time, and it's to separate them and to reward their experience and their expertise in that position and distinguish it from the entry level. Did I answer your question?
Yes, it did. One more thing, and I'll be quiet for now. You mentioned the reserve fund and the percentage of increase this year in the proposed budget. Would you address the recommendation you mentioned to me when we were talking about Standard & Poor's recommendation regarding reserve funds?
Standard & Poor's and Moody's and Investor Services are the bond rating agencies that look at counties and municipalities, and they're the ones that actually establish the bond ratings. And the bond ratings are very important when you go out to issue bonds in any manner, whether you issue them from the court level or from the voter standpoint. Because that bond rating is what the bond sells for out in the market. So the better your bond rating, the lower your interest rate that you get for the bond. The lower the interest rate, obviously, the less we pay in interest to repay the bond. So it's imperative that the county have a good bond rating. The county does have a good bond rating, which is it's AA3 with Standard & Poor's, and that's a very good bond rating. Standard & Poor's recommendation for the reserve, this is what you were asking, I'm getting there, what you're asking me is 25% of your expenditures in reserve. We don't have 25%. We only have a policy of 12%. Like I said, this budget is the one that's come closest to that, the 12% is not actually from a budget standpoint, it's from a reality standpoint. At the end of the year, did we end up with the 12%? Yes, we have. We have complied with that policy. We're usually running around 17, 18%, but the recommended is 25%. And that's what we would like to strive for. Again, it's really what that is a rainy day emergency fund. It's you can equate that to your savings account, what gets you through the rough times.
Thank you. Open it up for questions from the court, comments. Okay. Hearing no further business, is there a motion we adjourn? Have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.
I started around 6. I'm sorry, my question was